by the way, when you keep pushing forward, guess what happens? You grow. That's why I get a little nervous when people, when people say, well, okay, scripture, for example. Well, it says that, it means that, good, I'm done with that. I'll go on to memorize another scripture that I can, write down in my book. Okay, I've got to remember it, and this is that, and that's that. Okay, good, I'm done. No. Keep pushing on, keep pressing on, keep learning more, keep asking more, keep asking God for more, And that's how we grow. I think my best guess is the reason the church today, in my opinion, is so weak, and I think it is weak. A guy named George Barna was a Christian researcher, and he had the Barna Research Group. And quite a few years ago, he did a survey among Christian denominations, and come to find out, Christians divorced at a higher rate than non-Christians. Right? That's his Barna, and it came as quite a shock. And the interesting was, the highest rate of divorce among Christians was the charismatics. But they kind of got all feely. Anyway, so charismatics, and then there were like, the Pentecostals, I think, were the next in line. And then you worked your way down, and the Baptists were one of the highest rates of divorce. The highest rate of divorce, I think, was Baptist and then charismatic. The least denomination was the Presbyterians, because they don't like change of any kind. So Barna said, oh yeah, what about, and he went through all the characteristics. There wasn't a bit of difference between the culture and the Christian church. Whether it's divorce rate, homosexuality, sexual abuse, you name it, there was no difference. The church and the culture were the same. So therefore my comment that the church is pretty shallow, and I think one of the reasons why is we've how can I say it? We've sort of got our parishioners to the point where they come in every Sunday morning, right? And they sit in the pew, and they're expecting the pastor now to preach to them and give them food, right? We're feeding the flock, as it were. And then if they don't get fed, they go away angry, saying, that wasn't a very good sermon. I didn't feel like I got fed. Listen, feed yourself. Yeah. How's that? Grow up. Stop being perpetual babies. That's what's, to me, that's what the problem with the church is. We've got 35-year-old babies. We're still going, feed me, feed me, feed me. It's okay when you're a baby, right? When you got a little baby and he cries and you feed him, and that's normal. But if you've got a 35-year-old baby, it's going to feed me, that's not so normal. So, I'm sorry, I'm preaching now, but I think in light of what we've been talking about, press on, keep asking, keep looking, keep thinking, find a way, think bigger, think deeper, figure it out as best you can. Yes, Jack.
Then what is the role of the church for you?
Well, I think the role of the church is to evangelize the world. Yeah, but we don't. Why? Because we can't get out of our seat because we haven't been fed enough to go, to grow up. Well, we really do. We've got a bunch of babies out there, Christian babies that have been around forever and doing nothing, pretty much. Sorry, I mean, nothing personal, but that's just my take. Yeah. Yes, Alisa.
Then how do you feed yourself?
Oh, well, okay. We are going to start. The next bit is how do you orient yourself in the postmodern world? That's what it's about. So we'll get to that. Yeah. Self-feeding. Yes, Charles.
What was the study you said?
What's that?
What was the study you cited? Or like the?
Oh, the
church
Barnum?
versus the- yeah.
Barnum, that's
Barnum.
Barnam. Yeah, I think Barnum. Barnum Research. Yeah, it caused a big schmoz among the Christian church because they thought they were doing so much better. Okay, jump to one last thing and we'll go on.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's again about omnipresent and omnipotent.
Okay, yeah.
But if God was not all-knowing, all-powerful, and all-present, how could we trust him?
What did you say?
What, do you trust him because he's all powerful, all knowing, and all present?
Because
You trust him because you know that he loves you and you want to love him back.
if he's not all-powerful, how could he promise me to? How could he promise me?
Well, again, what does it mean by all powerful?
I would say all-powerful, that he's by might to do everything. And it doesn't mean that he does everything, that
He's
he's by
powerful
might.
to do what he wants to do.
And with that, like everything, I would say.
Well, it's interesting, 'cause it says, you know, okay, God is not willing that any would perish. So everybody say, cool, you guys can go home, you don't need to evangelize. God's not willing that any should perish, so nobody's gonna perish. It's all good enough. He's all powerful, he can do what he wants, so, you know, let's go to the beach. I mean, see what I'm saying? So it's not predicated, and imagine, God's not predicated on what he does and can do, but on who he is in terms of his character. His character more than his attributes of physical. So the attributes of God that are character-driven, loving, kind, good, just, those things, yeah, absolutely, no question about it. But when it comes to the kind of physical attributes, you know, all powerful, all knowing, this kind of thing, no, I'd say it's up for debate. Up for debate. But we can, oh my gosh, I'm just. Okay, how do we do this? What?
Mine's like 2 seconds. Mine's a comment I have to.
We haven't heard from Becca yet. So, speak.
Then why fear him? In that aspect is like to fear the Lord.
To
Fear.
Fear the Lord.
fear the Lord?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? That's not really a question, but
Yeah.
Why
Well-
would we fear him if he's not all-knowing, all-powerful, all-present?
yeah.
I think the word, in that particular situation, the word to fear the Lord means to give him due respect. Doesn't mean to be, oh, not God, oh, not God.
Yeah.
You know, you don't do that to somebody you love and who loves you. So showing the fear of the Lord is to show him the respect that he's due to receive. So show him proper respect. So it's not to be afraid of him, because he loves you and you love him. You're not going to be afraid of somebody who loves you ultimately and deeply and only wants the best good for you and only wants everything, you know. There's no reason to be afraid. You run into his arms.
We're not really, I don't think she's saying like we're worried about the fear part. We actually already like went through the fear of the Lord as
Yeah.
we
Uh-oh.
understand like it's respect. But why would we respect somebody to the degree that God asked us to if he's not worthy of it?
Okay, let me.
Because I
Yeah.
think he is worthy of it, but if we're taking
Of what?
those things away,
I
we
think-
just Lord.
We've got one final comment, and then we've got to move on because it's going to come down to Astrid.
Oh, okay, thank you. So I think we just don't, or God is the creator of the universe. He's the almighty, loving, loving God with his redemption and everything, so he is worthy of our praise, no matter if you can trust him or not. because he's done so much. His creature, his everything. It's just wonderful. It's so much better than what we could ever become anyway.
But we can trust
True.
him, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm not saying that he's not worthy
Yeah.
at all.
Uh-oh.
He is worthy.
Close, you're getting close
I know,
now.
I'm about to get down here. He is worthy,
Yeah.
absolutely, because clearly he's already done so much for us, like what you're saying. But, you're okay, tired? Sorry.
Okay,
He's not
let's,
perfect, though, doesn't that take away?
No, because he still created us. He still loves. He still.
Alright, I'm playing deaf devil's
Yeah.
advocate here, I'm asking the questions and like,
okay, Jerry, we can continue this discussion
Sorry.
over lunch.
sorry.
We gotta get, okay, this better be good, Nathaniel.
I sure think it is. If God isn't all-knowing and what we do changes, things that he doesn't already know, then how does he have a 100% success rate on like telling us the future? So in order for him to have done that and to be still doing that, he has to already know what our decisions will come to.
Yeah, I think that would be, sort of, what exactly does he know about the future? Is it set in stone, or is the future, flexible in the sense of, again, right, getting back, does he already know who's gonna go to heaven and who's gonna go to hell? And that's set in stone. Then, again, why evangelize? Why try to convert people? They're gonna go to hell because God has predestined them to go to hell. That's not reason, in my opinion, it's not reasonable. But, okay, we've set the stage. What, I've lost track of time here. What, we supposed to?
11:15.
11:15, we have a break?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, well, that'll give us a good segue now into the next bit, because, when it comes to discipleship, and we're going to get into the nature of strategically planning and thinking your life ahead. Now, if it's already predestined, forget about it. It's already, you just kind of wake up every morning and just kind of blah, 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 and God's will happens and you're good. However, if that's not the case, it might be good that we make some plans, to do some stuff, to grow up. That's what this whole thing is about, how to orient yourself in the postmodern world. Grow the heck up, okay? You're all adults, so be adults. How do you do that? That's what we're going to talk about. But if God, again, if it's all predestined, then forget about it, It doesn't really matter, because it's already predetermined what you're going to do and what's going to happen to it. But if it's not, then this might be helpful. So we talked about spirituality of discipleship. That is not what we're talking about. You've got, 12 weeks in the school. You've got 11 weeks of spirituality. You guys are going to be so spiritual, be walking on water and all kinds of stuff. So we're going to skip that bit. What we're talking about here is how do you prepare yourself as a disciple? Mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, occupationally. How does it work? How does it come to pass? Yes?
Through trials.
Pardon?
Through trials.
Through time?
Trials.
Trials. Yes,
Trials.
absolutely.
Trials.
Trials. Yeah. Yep. That's it. So we're not addressing the spiritual. What we're talking about is what is this is a metaphor, all right, in English, so hopefully it'll be better. Oftentimes we talk about the hand that we're dealt. So it has to do with when you're playing cards and you're given a certain amount of cards. Randomly, you're given cards, right? And then you have a hand of cards that you have to play. So, however you've been created, however you turned out genetically, that's your set, that's your hand of cards, that's you. That's the potential that you have. Now, some of you might have a really good hand, and some of you might have a really bad hand. Guess what? Tough luck, you know, bad, there's nothing you can do about it, but you can do the best you can with what you've got.
Mhm.
And so that's kind of the idea of you've been dealt a hand of cards that's primarily determined genetically, okay? It's purely genetics.